Hey everyone, this Two Schools Musicals here, and we are back with another review for Hamilton. Yep, we saw Hamilton 3 days ago. 3 days ago, on the 1st, for my birthday. It was a surprise. Yeah, a surprise gift from my godfather, who I think. What did he say? He saw Hamilton. And he was like, I don't know, I guess something just wasn't right in the universe with him if he saw it and we hadn't seen it yet. So he decided to, to surprise us with tickets for our birthday. And so
we appreciate that.
We really did. So
thank you.
And he got us great seats. We were not sitting together though. I was in C and Joy was in B and B. And then next to Joy were two little girls, sisters. And I was like, well, this is why we can sit next to each other. I don't know. Tickets for Hamilton are just so crazy because those little girls' parents were sitting somewhere behind us. So
it's probably really hard to get group seats together.
Sure it is. It's hard to get tickets in general.
Yeah. I'm surprised that they sat
what?
Together and not one parent with each child.
Well, they had a little boy too. So I noticed that they had a little brother. So I guess the parents decided to sit with him, and then
they were old enough to kind of sit together.
Yep. Old enough. Goodness gracious. The one came back from intermission with a drink and the ice, and she just did this. No straw. The whole second act. The best part was, say no to this with what's her name? Mariah Reynolds. When she sits on Hamilton's lap, the little one went and froze because she was just not ready. That was the best for me because look, that couple's annoying me. But goodness, our cast. Should we talk about the cast first? Okay. I apologize. My voice sounds funny. I can't breathe out my nose. So, I had no idea about some of the cast members who were in here. The most surprising one to me was what? Daniel Breaker? Is it Aaron Burr? He was in Shrek. I guess maybe that's the most.
Yeah, we know him. I do remember him being in Passing Strange.
Yeah, that's what I did. Oh, he was in the Book of Mormon too. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But yeah, in Shrek he was Donkey, if anyone's wondering. Then there was James Monroe Eagleheart. I didn't know he was in Hamilton at the moment. Shows you how closely we follow that. I thought he was just in what's the show? Hip Hop Love Supreme. But well, yeah. Then we had Manny Gonzalez, the Beast, from In the Heights, and what else did she do? That's what she's best known for. And oh yeah, she was also an Elphaba. I forgot about that. And I think that's the most known Broadway.
TV.
Yeah, she does some TV,
some
movies. Ewan Morton as King George.
Not that.
That was like
perfect.
Oh man, loved it. It was like we know Ewan, not really know him, but because we didn't see him in it. Was that documentary?
The Road to Broadway.
It's like the Road to Success, set in Broadway, and it was about the 4 shows I think opening up that season. It was Wicked, it was Avenue Q, it was Taboo, which is the Boy George musical, and Carolina Change. Oh my goodness, Carolina Change is coming back. That, and he was I guess Boy George in Taboo because it's like the story, I guess, of Boy George's life and like London. So Ewan Martin was George, and like I just remember because we watched that documentary like all the time, and I just remember him, and I remember him being so sad when Taboo closed. Oh my god, that's gonna fall behind us. We have a scene change because it's too hot, in the room we would normally film. So we tried to make it more theatery and put our little. It's not a tapestry; it's a towel. And we tried to like put it behind us so it looked more theater like. But it's like I can hear the tape and it's probably gonna fall. So don't just. So there's that. Oh, what I was saying. Oh, so I remember him being like so sad when Taboo closed, and I guess he had a work visa. His show closed, and he got working. He had to go back, and he was like crying, and then to see him here, and then you also know who his child is. It took us a minute to figure this out.
Ian Armitage.
Ian Armitage, the little one that does all the Broadway reviews, and then he's a young Sheldon, and yeah, so I love that.
Huh. And it works that he's actually English. So.
Oh my god, yeah. So his accent was, I guess, more. I doubt his accent is not like that, but it's more.
Yeah, I think is he Scottish though? He's more Scottish than English. I'm not sure.
I don't know.
Either way, but.
And I think that was the most.
Yeah, we did. I did.
Giuseppe.
Yeah, I was gonna say from the ensemble Giuseppe Basilio. Which, if you know that, I tend to follow
the Billies
from Billy Elliot, and Giuseppe is like all grown up now. I think it's the first all grown up thing we've seen him do with Hello Dolly, and I remember just being like, he was such a young chap, and now he's like
he was in Cats too, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was in Cats too, and then he has like a beard now in the show, and I'm like, Giuseppe, he's a grown man now. Yeah, he was General Lee.
Yeah, Samuel Seabury. Yeah,
and oh my god, it was so nice to still see Dane there. Dane's been in since
OBC.
Yeah, been there for a minute.
Oh, one of the Guzman twins.
Yeah, one of the Guzman twins. David.
Mm-hmm.
I think his brother's in West Side Story.
Might be.
I think.
Jacob.
Yeah, Jacob. Mm-hmm.
Thanks to Mom, Dad, Jacob, Liana, Elisa, Carla. I think that's pretty much it.
Who we know, yeah.
That we know, yes. So that's that. His name, Antoine Magic. Interesting.
Can you imagine being in the swing for this show? Oh, jeez.
There's a lot going on. That's another thing. Oh, you want to do your little synopsis of Hamilton? No?
Oh, no one knows what's Hamilton about? I gotta say.
Does anyone know?
Do you hear it? Yeah, I do hear it.
Oh my god, it's gonna fall. No. If it falls, oh well.
So, Hamilton is about Alexander Hamilton. He is an immigrant from the Caribbean who was orphaned at a young age. And that was like, if he was gonna be an unsub in Criminal Minds, that was his stressor. And he, was this brilliant kid, and he did so well that there goes. He did so well that his little island, started a GoFundMe from back, in the 1700s to send him to America. And while there, he wants to go to Columbia, which was King's College back then, and he wanted to finish school in 2 years, fight a war. Wow. So that he could get some notoriety and stuff and show, how brilliant he was, because, he was a really smart kid. And so he ends up going to school. A war does happen, America and Britain was not, were, having a not so easy breakup time. And so they're fighting not the Civil War, but the war against Britain, the Revolutionary War. Not the Civil War. The Revolutionary War, where he, through his skills and stuff, he starts getting a name for himself, and he catches the eye of George Washington, who takes him under his wings. But also at the same time, he has met Burr and a few other guys, Hercules, Mulligan, Lafayette, most of the founding fathers, to get to they all have their different ideas and ways of how they're gonna make America great or whatever. This new country, and wow, embarrassing.
They try to do something different.
I know. So fighting, and the war is over. Hamilton becomes a lawyer, and Burr's a lawyer, but him and Burr are like friends, but they're not friends at the same time because Burr kind of has like this weird need to kind of like self-preservate, which tends to kind of push people away, but also not giving them a reason why he's doing so. So he's kind of like a loner-ish, whatever. But he did try, and anyway, but Hamilton is just really he's annoying. Let's be honest. He's annoying. He's too smart for his own good. He doesn't know when to shut up. He does meet Eliza in between all of this, and Eliza Schuyler, and he does marry her, and they end up having a kid, and boom, the second that happens, the war has been over for some years now. Philip is a child now, which is their son. Burr has a daughter now. We found out, at the end of the first act, no, the end of the second act, the beginning of the second act, we find out that John Lawrence died because
the war was over, but he didn't know. I don't know.
It took a while to like spread these things, so people were still fighting. Yeah, people were still fighting because they literally did not get the memo yet, and he dies, and Hamilton's upset about it, but he remembers his good friend John. Wow, it's just
let it do what it's gonna do.
Holy, that was so annoying. It's okay. But in Into the Hood, he is what I left off at.
John Lawrence died.
Yeah, John Lawrence died. Hamilton is still writing like all these papers and stuff, and he's trying to get like this new constitution off the ground, and his ideas, and people are like, Hamilton, you're smart, but you're crazy. Like, no one's gonna listen to this. But he's just writing, and he's writing, and he's ruffling feathers, and by doing that, he kind of pushes Eliza away and whatnot, and then he ends up having an affair with Mariah Reynolds because he's home alone when he should have been upstate on vacation at Lake George or whatever, and so that happens. So he gets himself into a pickle, and now he has to start paying Reynolds to, cheat with his wife, basically. So he's being extorted, and meanwhile Jefferson and Madison are like plotting against him, and then they try to figure out like, what they have against him, and they go to him, and Hamilton, they're like, oh, you're extorting all this money from America, and he's like, first of all, no, I got receipts. And he pulls out receipts, and he was like, I'm gonna tell y'all this, but don't tell nobody. And they're like, cool, fine, what is it? They're like, oh man, he's having an affair, he has to pay this guy. And they're like, well, that sucks, but they true to their word, they're not gonna tell nobody. But I guess Hamilton started getting paranoid or whatever, so he just starts writing, because that's what he does. He just starts writing and publishing stuff, and it's not anonymous. He actually signs his name on this one, and he tells a story about how he cheated on Eliza with Mariah Reynolds. And everyone's like, oh man, now he's never going to be president. He really ruins his life because there's one thing that used to ruin you back then. That was adultery scandal. I mean, now it wouldn't matter. Now it's just kind of like, it is what it is, right?
Yeah.
Like, let's think about it when you think about presidency adultery scandals. Like, there's a whole bunch, and everyone tends to just not care after a while. Comedians make jokes about it, but this really was the downfall of Hamilton. Like he really lost a lot of respect and stuff like that. Even after what he did, he made Wall Street. Anywho, he gets into a little fight with Burr because Burr loses the election that he ran against for Senate. President? Senate? It was a Senate or presidency, bro.
Which one? He lost a couple times.
Yeah, he lost a couple times. Anyway, he thought he was going to be vice president to to Jefferson, and Jefferson was like, "Ha, you thought no," and so Burr was upset with that, and he thought Hamilton had something to do with it because Hamilton voted for Jefferson instead of him, and he was like, "I thought we were friends," but it's kind of like, Burr, you're hot and cold. No one knows what you want, like. Whatever, and Hamilton was just speaking his truth or whatever. He chose Jefferson, and Burr was upset about that. They fight and fight and fight. And instead of just kind of going their separate ways and just going, I don't want to speak to you again, they go, let's shoot each other. So they go to Jersey because everything's legal in Jersey, right? And I've totally skipped over the fact that Philip was not as bright either. Like, just like his father, someone talked about me. I'm going to go duel with this person. He ended up dueling with this guy who was talking crap about Hamilton, and instead of ignoring it, he decides to duel with him, and he got shot, and he dies, and Eliza's sad, and then there's this whole sad part, and then we're all like, can we get back to Molly? I'm like, please do. Anyway, to the who. So Hamilton decides to fight Burr, knowing his son died, and he does the same thing, the same advice he gave his son, to put his gun in the air. It didn't work for Philip, sir. Why would it work for you? And meanwhile, Bird's like, oh no, he's wearing his spectacles? He's trying to kill me with deadly, precise aim. And he was like, I'm going to shoot him first before he shoots me. So Bird does what anyone in the duel does. He fires his gun. And Hamilton fires in the air. He kind of miscalculated Bird. But again, had they really talked this out, it could have been all avoided. Bird shoots him in between the ribs or something like that, which is kind of not a good shot.
He said himself he wasn't one.
Yeah, not a good way to get shot. I mean, I wouldn't want to get shot in my rib cage, but doctors back then really could not handle that. Anyway, he ended up dying in the same spot his son got shot in, which also, he died, and Bird really paid the price for that too, because he really kind of killed one of the smartest guys that America had, and could have did so much more if he really had more time. There's a whole song about it. Anyway, so
that was Hamilton.
That was Hamilton.
It's been on Broadway for 5 years now?
I think so.
We had said when they came out that we would see Hamilton in 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
I'm happy to report thanks to Uncle Dwayne that we have cut it down and have the time to see it. I was, we listened to Hamilton mostly everything from the first act, for the most part, except for Say No to This has always been my jam. Remember you made fun of me about that? It was we listened to it through before, but I would say everything in the second act we didn't really listen to much, so seeing it was kind of
the second act is very much something you need to see to kind of really get into, I would say.
Yeah, it was we heard the songs before, but it sounded new, fresh, interesting. So that was definitely very it was very nice. I have to say, seeing it made me wish I had seen the original cast, but it was great. I think I'm trying to think. Wasn't disappointed at all. Not disappointed at all. I will have to say, if I missed anybody, it was Davy Diggs. I don't know. I was expecting Jason Eagle to be more flamboyant, kinda, in the role of
Jefferson.
So, yeah.
And Lafayette. Yeah.
But I think he did his job. I love that. I love the choreography. I love the ensemble. That ensemble is insane. Oh my
They
goodness.
never stop moving.
They don't stop moving. They don't stop doing anything. It's great.
And even if they're not on stage, they're really not off stage for a long time, and they're doing stuff to get ready.
I know.
To get back on stage, changing their outfits or bringing props forward or something.
Yeah.
It's very interesting, this show.
I really liked King George. The 7 minutes he's on stage, the whole entire show, was the best. maybe somebody can let us know what we noticed about like the costumes. I think the costumes are falling apart.
Yeah, the girls' pants. We had really close seats, so I could be a judge of what it looked like. Seemed to be like overly tailored, kind of like I guess maybe like if that makes sense. Like it's not overly tailored, but like fixed. I guess.
Oh, okay.
Like I don't know. It just their pants looked.
At one point,
I guess they are busier them a lot, so they do kind of get worn down a bit.
Yeah, at one point, one of the guys, like you can see like the collars, like kind of like wilting off or like kind of like falling off, and then one of the guys is missing the sleeves. Like he had one sleeve, and then the other sleeve like was like missing, and then when he came back, he had a new jacket, or they fixed it. I'm not 100% sure, but I was like, oh, these costumes look a little like they're falling apart.
Yeah, Ewan's pants, his little red knickerbockers, or what I don't know what you call that style of pants that come up, little above,
I know what you mean,
below your knee. One of them had like the embellishments on the bottom. He's a king; he would have really nice detailed pants, but then the other side didn't. I said, well,
what?
Yeah, I was like, interesting. I was confused. I don't know. Maybe they're in the middle of getting new costumes or something. Maybe because it is a new year. Maybe they're gonna get new costumes soon because they are getting worn down a bit. I don't know. They seem more crisp. When you watch this 2015 tour.
Yeah. I kind of wish we were a little bit further away, maybe like mezzanine, so I could really take in the turntable because we love the turntable.
Yeah. Even further back, orchestra would be fine. Some of the back is elevated.
I like to see it.
Yeah, turning,
like, twirling, and it's like sometimes I was like, wait. It took me a while to realize like, oh, the turntable was like moving, like based on how they were like walking. But it was really great. Like I really did. I love the choreography. I love the ensemble. The bullet. That part was really cool. I was like, ooh, kudos. But yeah.
It's also really nice to see a cast of mostly people of color.
Oh, yes.
Oh,
yes. I was saying to Joy, I was like, it had, like, the show had to be told the way it was told with the people who they used to tell the story. Because otherwise, I would not find the history so interesting or, like, sympathetic otherwise. So
yeah, I was talking to Diana about this. Hi, Diana, if you're listening. She was like, somehow, about Bloody Bloody Andrew Jackson, about how they tried to retell his story.
Yeah.
With the little rock score, and it didn't do that well. And she was like, she was just watching something
about it
when they were talking about it, so like maybe on stage or something, on Netflix or something. And I was like, it just. If people probably, and I told people I saw Hamilton, the thing was it worth the hype? And I have to say, yeah, and I totally get why it is doing so well. And I also like to say that also Hamilton had lightning in a bottle. It came at the right time with the right people.
Yeah.
And it's really lucky in that sense. Yeah. And, I don't think Lynn could have came out at the 2007-8 Tony Awards with Hamilton before In the Heights. It would not have happened that well. And In the Heights was well received, but it wasn't nearly as much of a commercial success as Hamilton was. And In the Heights has the ability to be commercially successful now because of the movie and Lynn's success with Hamilton and Moana and all this other stuff. But he literally had to plant the seed first of how theater can be different, because when you think about hip hop and musical theater, like you think of like bring in the noise, bring in the funk, things like kind of not hip hop, but like
gotcha, okay,
the type of style that wasn't typical to like like
Carmen the hip hop,
or like things like that, and it just kind of like people weren't really ready for that like that. Like it had niche audiences, and I think. Yeah, it really happened at the right time when people are talking about how they want more diverse things from diverse creators on Broadway, not just necessarily, and a story using people of color, but it's not like of like the pain specifically directed to said people. You know, he did that with In the Heights. You know, like gentrification. You know the struggles of like being an immigrant and things like that. But it's like in here, you're like, it's like, oh, you know, it had to be told using people of color because no one would really want, like, would you really want to go see a musical about Alexander Hamilton if it wasn't like this, like with this type of music, you know, with a cast that doesn't look like most of the people in America now? Like,
yeah.
you'd be like, oh God, I would totally like roll my eyes at it, like, you know, but
we did enjoy ourselves a lot.
Yeah, it was really good.
I'm happy we got to see it.
Yeah, it's.
Oh, the TV is doing
it really is interesting to like to see such a thing. Like you go, wow, and it's just really nice to see. I really did like it. I don't know. And I always tell people like I liked Hamilton. It wasn't like my favorite musical ever. Like, but I did always like Hamilton from the first time I heard the music. I was pretty drawn to it. But
he's very clever. But he's very clever.
He's a wordsmith.
So do you want to show them what we got?
Yeah, let's show people what we got. First up, it has the creative good bags on it. The guy at the thing. Can we just talk about the Richard Rodgers data? Like, oh my goodness,
why is it
these
like
historic? That? Yeah, these historic data, and you can't break them up. But it's just so hard, especially with the crowd.
I think that was our first time at the Richard Rodgers.
It's very much the first time at the Richard Rodgers, and I can assure you, it probably wouldn't have been so crazy like that if it was in the Heights. It's very. The bathroom situation is weird. The bathrooms are downstairs, but it's always like crowded. Magnet.
It's a cute magnet.
It's a very cute magnet.
It's a magnet I expected from Cursed Child, but we got that like flimsy one. Like, spend too much money on other merchandise.
Yeah. Hamilton has some of the cutest merch, I would say.
It's true.
Yeah. But we're basic, so the logo tee. Yeah, right, nice. Is that what we got? Yeah.
Yeah, that's all we got.
Yeah, so and the cups. We got cups, obviously.
I was drinking.
Ooh, let me tell you guys this. I normally never use the bathrooms at theaters unless I'm the first one in and could be the first one in the door at the bathroom. Because I know how crazy the bathrooms get. I am a master at holding, my bladder. But I don't know if because I had just turned 27 and my body was like, so you thought. I took 2 sips of my drink, my Pepsi. Or Coke, whatever it was. And by the time the ship was in the harbor now, I was like, I gotta pee. And I really did. And then I was so uncomfortable for the first act. I was just like, can we get to non-stop, please? Like, I was like, I cannot hold it. Like, and I rushed. Like, as soon as the lights went out, I got up and I squoze my way through to run to the bathroom. Now, mistake. If you're in the orchestra and you're facing the stage, just in case you need to pee at intermission, get up and go to your left. And go to the bathroom that way. Because the line to the women's bathroom is going to snake all the way through the orchestra and hit the stage. When I went right. So I went around, and had to go back through the orchestra right to where my seat was. I was in row B. I said, this is crazy. But I really had to pee. And then, because the lines are so long, like, when I made it back, which they did not give you, they were not saying
they don't warn.
They did not warn you.
Like, there's no flashing lights and there's no bell or chime that they give. The only thing that kind of alerted me that the show was getting ready to start again was the ushers started screaming at people to turn up their phones, and I was like, okay, so it must be starting soon. But other than that, I'm really surprised Hamilton doesn't have like some sort of like spoken message like in the beginning about like cell phone use? So like
They did.
they did.
King George talking.
Did I miss that?
Maybe.
How did I miss that? I don't even remember it.
Yeah, he was like, "This is your king."
Oh, that is true. Weird. We talked about that curtain call, lacked it up. It was like a play. Everybody just comes out at the same time. And
Yeah,
like bows. I was like, wait, I wanted.
I think that's something, probably what Lynn wanted, so that everyone's equal and you don't clap more for someone else. You know, it's hard to regulate the clap of everyone. Because when you think about it, it is a true ensemble show.
True.
Even though it says Hamilton. That show wouldn't work without the ensemble.
Okay.
I don't know. I mean, it's, yeah.
Right?
Uh-huh.
I wanted something else. I don't know when that, like, it started, with the curtain call started getting very extra, but now I'm used to it, and, like, I wanted, like, something else. Mm-hmm. But, yeah.
Yeah, but back to my story.
I'm sorry.
Ran up the steps because I just had a feeling when I was that I needed to rush.
Oh, cute. I don't know if you want to end the video now.
Well, I made it back, but I had to, like, they were closing the...
Hello?
They were closing the curtains. But
okay.
We'll sign off for now. Bye.